want to, at the outset, thank Steel Club for this opportunity to talk about stainless steel in this new normal and what impact it had already in the first quarter of 2020, especially what is happening in India, where we are going from now onwards. A little bit about the quick overview of what happened in Indian market or in growth of stainless steel industry in India. And the first thing is that if you look at the production has dropped by 8% worldwide in the first 3 months of 2020. And China, which has been growing very rapidly, also had a negative growth. So all regions. It's not only China, it is Europe, it is India. Everywhere, January-March quarter data, which we have seen recently, clearly shows. But there are challenges which we have to overcome. And therefore, I personally believe that our metal, stainless steel, being one of the fastest growing, will catch up.
It's my sincere privilege to be here today. We haven't faced a global pandemic in a lifetime, and this is new to everyone, and the situation is constantly evolving. We call it the new normal. I would like to give a general perspective of SS industry at this critical juncture, rather than going more specific in any particular issue. And I would like to share some statistics, some information about the impact of COVID-19 having on the world economy. In 2019, global stainless steel production was around 52.2 million tons. This figure has increased steadily and significantly over the course of past decade, when the yearly global stainless steel production was well below 30 million metric tons. The current pandemic is likely to reduce the global stainless steel market by 12% this year, the analysts suggest. The global demand for stainless steel decreased by 6.4% year on year in 2020 due to this effect of COVID-19 pandemic and lockdown measures. These details are according to World Steel Association. After a detailed analysis of 78 stainless steel end user segments, our very much friend SMR Group, Mr. Marcus Moon, who is a very good analyst, came to a conclusion that pandemic will reduce the demand of 5.6 million tons in 2020 compared to pre-COVID.
This year has been a very challenging year for us. 2020 is going to be a year to remember in our history books. As stockists, we all are faced with challenges and hurdles. Some of the problems this year have included duties, tariffs, anti-dumping of metals, LME fluctuations, and finally the coronavirus, which has had a major impact on everyone in the metals industry due to its changing of economics, supply and demand of stainless steel. In the US, I felt that the major driver of our market right now is opening of the country, which will lead to opening of the economy, which directly relates to the stainless steel materials demand. This will only happen if the coronavirus is controlled.
First of all, Turkey is the 10th biggest stainless steel importer and consumer of the world. Actually, all the import numbers of Turkey you can consider as a consumer, because Turkey doesn't have any integrated mill. We have only 2 stainless steel coating mill in Turkey, and those 2 coating mill can only match the maximum 40% of the market requirement, and the rest of the 60% still we are importing from all over the world, mainly Far East. Could you please go to next slides? Yeah, and the Turkish market is clearly dominated by the CR, coil and sheet, more than 80%. And as I said, we don't have an integrated producer. 100% of the demand, HR or CR, needs to be imported. And even we have 2 stainless steel coating mill, and they are importing their HR requirements. One is the POSCO Assan, and mainly they are buying, they are importing their raw material from Korea.
which was about supply chain exposure or risk. And since the onset of the COVID pandemic, I've been inundated with a number of discussions and questionnaires from my customers who are interested to look at how we are managing our supply chains as a precision re-roller. Certainly an issue in Europe. And I think the pandemic has identified where companies maybe have their eggs in too few baskets. And for Zap, that can work in our favor. It's helped to accelerate some of our new customer qualifications. It can work against us where we are sole supplying some of our customers.
This unusual situation of last few months has changed the dynamics of our business in a big way. There are positives, there are issues, there are concerns. The positive is we are getting more and more connected with each other. I recall a recent meeting in India where the steel industry was looking at the demand for steel for the oil and gas sector.
Mr. Paul, I would say that the growth in the whole world we see is good, is reflected not only in the US stock market, but also in the stock market of the other countries as well. At industry level, I don't see any deglobalization. In fact, we take an example of the EU Commission strategy. They did not tweak because in the larger interest of the Europe country as well, because they also have a vision. I mean, they also feel that globalization must continue.
Talk about the question of Paul about how many customers in US are starting to bring manufacturing back to the US. Although we have, because one of the main reasons is because we have 232 tariff, we have these other duties coming along. But this whole movement already has started. It started 2 years ago, where people thought about bringing back all the